Hey guys, Sandie here and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a lot of stuff out because I am going to make some ATCs or altered trading cards. Now I do have these super easy chipboard blanks and a whole bunch of other products from Brutus Monroe. I'm excited. I've got some wild ideas. Like, you might not think that this is going to make sense because I have llamas and popcorns and dots and plaids and products, but you know what? We're going to make a variety, so let's see what I can do. Now I'm going to start out by putting some gesso right on my media mat, and I'm also going to be using some hyper pigments. Now these are awesome because you can mix them in with all kinds of media, and I just decided that I wanted colored gesso. So instead of painting the white gesso on top of my card and then painting color on top of it, I figured, you know what, why don't we get this done in one fell swoop? Now I do go ahead and use a palette knife and also a paintbrush to apply, and I think it's just a matter of what you want. It's just however you feel like you want to apply it. And I had started by wiping off everything in the middle between colors, and then at the end, I just started adding more and more color. So I have the green and the blue to create this green, and then I put on the purple right on top of that. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. I just go ahead and go with it. I'm like, what is the point of cleaning my mat off in between and just making a mess again? So, yeah. I am definitely a messy scrapbooker. You'll be able to see that as the video. My work area gets smaller and smaller because my stuff ends up all over the place. It actually ends up where I lose the lid to my embossing ink pad because stuff is just everywhere. So I do have to pause to take care of that, but don't you worry, I found it and all is well with the world again. Now, I will say that my craft mat, the only thing I did was take it to my sink and scrubbed it down with a brush, and everything came off beautifully. My craft mat is much, much cleaner. And then, as you can see, I just dumped that color right on top of the stuff I was already working with, so I'm not really wasting color. And then at the very end, whatever of the gesso color that I have, I end up putting it in my art journal. So I just kind of like pick it up, plop that art journal right down on top of the color and pick it up that way. That way I'm not really wasting any product, and there's something on that white art journal page by the time I get to it. So here I go, adding in more color because that's just the way I'm doing it. I wish I could paint this fast and get the color down this fast. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could do that? I don't know. So these ATCs don't really have one coherent theme that goes through all four of them. I had multiple ideas and I just wanted to make them happen. So I just did it. I will say that I really, really love the shrink plastic, you guys. If you have not played with it, it is something that you are going to need to do. Seriously, you're going to need to do it. I ended up not leaving this the original color I thought I was going to leave it. I decided to paint it again. So I do have very similar colors with the two bluish ones, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't really bother me. They're not really what's the word? They're not really a set, so it's not going to matter to me. And then I just started putting the pigment right on top of the card itself because I was like, I wanted a little bit more purpley. So there we go. We are going to get those dried off. We're going to cover up everything and clean this up. And then there right there is a llama stamped from the llama stamp set. I'll have it linked down below. And I am just shrinking it down with my heat tool, and it is teeny. Look how teeny these are, you guys. I just wanted to show you some comparison of when I stamped it to what it goes down to. Now, I do have the stamp set. It says save the drama for your llama, so I'm going to stamp that on it. First, I'm just going to take the Raven detail ink and ink around the edges. And then at first I was going to kind of stamp on it, and then I decided that I was going to add in a little bit of stenciling. So I'm using the stencil of the month for the month of August, and I grabbed some ink and my Pink and Main blending brush. I will have the blending brushes linked down below as well, and I like the way that it looks, so now I need to make sure that my llamas are going to go on this card. So I grab the stamp here, and I'm just going to put this here as kind of a base. Now, I was thinking about using some sort of ribbon or even some cardstock or some glitter stock, but I wanted to keep it, I guess, kind of flat, even though I was going to have these shrink plastic llamas on it. So I'm just going to stamp that a couple times, and then I'm going to put the sentiment down where it says save the drama for your llama. And we definitely stamped that a few times because I want it to be a nice, deep, dark, crisp black sentiment. So now that that is down, we're going to add the little llamas on with some liquid adhesive, just so that it sticks a little bit better than like a tape runner or something like that. So I just drop the adhesive on them and place them on top of the ATCs. And look at that, we've got our first one done. And I loved playing with that shrimp plastic. Shrimp sounds good. I love playing with that shrink plastic that we went ahead and did it some more. So this is the Plaid, I believe it's called Plaid. Oh, the names are escaping me, guys. Don't worry though, I will have them all linked down below so you can figure out what the names are. So I have the Plaid stamp here, and I decide to kind of tape my paper down to my Misty, and then I'm just going to stamp over it a couple times. Now, I do grab the Plaid Tidings stamp. I know that that one's called Plaid Tidings. I don't remember what the little plaid background is called. And I pull out two of the ornaments here. So I'm going to stamp the ornaments, and then I'm going to emboss. So I do use Mic Drop, which is a beautiful black embossing powder that kind of has an iridescent, like a silvery iridescent sparkle to it. I don't know what the actual word of the glitter that's in there is called, but it's a sparkle. And then I am going to shrink plastic some more. I stamped out Season's Greetings, fussy cut it out, and then shrink plasticked it down. I am having one heck of a time saying shrink plastic, but man, it is fun. I hate naked holes, so naked tag holes, naked ornament holes, they drive me insane. So I just grab some embroidery floss, tie a little bow, and glue that down there. Now for a completely different color scheme, this popcorn die came in one of the inspiration boxes. I think it was in May. I want to say it was the May 2020 inspiration box. And I hadn't used it yet, and that is a dang shame because it is a super, super cute die. Now I am taking one of the Slimline papers, and then I just ran the die through my die cut machine a few times. I ran it through black cardstock, I ran it through yellow cardstock, and I also ran it through some red glitter stock. And I am just die cut inlaying the pieces back into the popcorn holder. I'm going to lay that down on my white gessoed ATC, and then I'm like, it needs something else. So what do? You guessed it, you guys. I grab the shrink plastic again. So this stamp set is one of my favorites from Brutus Monroe. Technically, the lowercase is my favorite, but we're going uppercase this time, guys. We're going uppercase. At first, I was just going to stamp it out on yellow. And I was like, no, Sandie, no. You need that shrink plastic in your life some more. So I go ahead and put the stamps down on top of the shrink plastic. I'm making sure that they're close enough together so that I'm not wasting a whole lot of the plastic, but they're far enough apart that I'm going to be able to get in there and fussy cut them pretty easily. So I go ahead and do that. Now, I will say that when you're stamping on the shrink plastic, you do have to be careful with it. You can rub off the ink. Once it is heat set, it's pretty much good, and you don't have to really have that fear of rubbing off the ink off of the plastic. But while it is still its normal size and it hasn't shrunk down, you do have to be careful with that. So I have the letters, and as you can see, they got super teeny. And I'm going to layer them up on top of my ATC. So I am going to put popcorn as 2 words. I know that popcorn is 1 word, but you know what? This is how it fits, guys, so this is how it's going. And I'm just using some liquid adhesive just to make sure that it really stays stuck down. So I have 1 more card left. I could have left it this way, but I wanted to do something with a heart. No idea why, I just felt like this ATC really needed a heart. So I grab another one of the Slimline papers, and I pull out this teal kind of polka dot, and I go ahead and cut a heart out of it. Now, it's not the best heart that I've ever cut in my life. It's not the worst heart that I've ever cut in my life, but it works for the card. So again, I grab my Raven detail ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink the outside of not only the card, but also the heart, because I want a little bit of continuity on the page. I actually take my finger and rub over the ink and get it on the background of the card as well, just to give it an ever so slightly grungy look. I don't want this to be grunged out. I just want a little kiss of it. Just a little kiss of the grunge. So now I am die cutting out this sentiment that says make a wish. Now, I know that make a wish usually screams birthday layouts, but I also think that make a wish can be kind of tied to like Disney things, like a dream is a wish your heart makes, like make that wish, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm going with that. Now I grab the same stencil of the month, and I do some blue over top, and then I do some green just to give me more of that aqua color. It isn't exactly words are failing me. It is not an exact match to the heart, but it's close enough. It does well. Now I totally cut off that sentiment strip crookedly, so I have to fix it with my scissors. And then I just layer it over the top like that. I'm thinking it needs a little something more, so I grab some thread from my stash, kind of bundle it up into a little ball, and adhere it underneath the heart. And I then grab some of these little self-adhesive gems that came in the August scrapbook kit from Brutus Monroe, and I place them down. And that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this video. I hope you enjoyed it. When I voice over, it's kind of what you hear is what you get. Thanks again, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you again real soon for another video.